Yes, it's going.
Maybe 2 note cards. Okay, so how many of you today wore your seatbelts on your way over here? So about half of you. Alright, so everyone always thinks nothing bad could ever happen, but little do you know that everyone has an 80% chance of getting in a car accident in their lifetime. So imagine you're driving down the road, you're not paying attention, you're looking at the scenery, you don't have your seatbelt on, and then you don't notice the car stopped in front of you. Next thing you know, you're slamming on your brakes, but it's too late. You hit the car in front of you and you go flying through the windshield. Then you're off to the emergency room. But how could this have been avoided? Just simply by wearing a seatbelt. When I was little, I always heard these stories of people getting in car accidents and being killed by not wearing their seatbelt, and how they could have walked out with minor injuries if they were. So today I will be talking to you about why you should wear your seatbelt, the cost if you don't wear your seatbelt, and the proper way to wear a seatbelt. So the first reason you should wear a seatbelt is because it's the law. And it's a primary law in 33 states. It's a secondary law in 16 states. And New Hampshire is the only state where it has no adult safety law. And number 2, it teaches children a good habit. I found this quote that said, "I thought about quitting, then I noticed who was watching." From a young age, children imitate what their parents do. So if they learn at a young age to always wear their seatbelt, then they will carry that through when they get older. Then they will teach their children to do so, and so on. Then third, it can protect you from injury or death. This is a picture that shows a man not wearing his seatbelt and smashing his head into the windshield against a person who is wearing their seatbelt. And according to Everyday Health, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found that 15,000 lives are saved each year from drivers and passengers who get in accidents wearing their seatbelts. And TowardZeroDeathsDC.com states that 1 person dies every 13 minutes and 1 person is injured every 7 minutes from being in a car accident. And EverydayHealth.com says there's a 5-way protection for a safety belt. Number 1, it keeps the occupants inside the vehicle. 2, it restrains the strongest parts of your bodies. 3, it spreads out all the forces from a collision. 4, it helps the body slow down. And 5, it protects your brain and spinal cord from injury. And also, according to teendriversource.org, in 2011, 58% of teen drivers who were killed in car crashes were not wearing their seatbelts. And most accidents actually occur within 3 miles from your home. And according to CDC.gov, seatbelts reduce serious injuries and death by 50%. And vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death between those ages 1 to 54 in the U.S. So now you should know why you should wear a seatbelt, but what would it cost you if you didn't? Because not wearing a seatbelt can cost you more than you're willing to gamble with. The first thing it can cost you is a lot of money. If you get pulled over and get a ticket, it can range from $10 to $200 depending upon what state you're in. And also, if you're in an accident, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you can have more expensive hospital bills. And it can also cost you your life or lives of others. So if you're not wearing your seatbelt and get in a crash, then that costs you your life. Or if your passengers aren't and you don't make sure they're not wearing their seatbelt, then it can cost them their lives. So now you know why you should wear a seatbelt and what can cost you. But what's the proper way to wear a seatbelt? So there are many improper ways to wear a seatbelt, but there's only one proper way. And that's the only real proper way to wear a seatbelt. Because the strap that goes across your lap needs to fit snugly over your hips and your upper thighs. And if you don't want to ride up on your stomach, because then that can cause serious injury. Then the shoulder belt should rest right over your shoulders and in between your breasts. And you don't want it to fall across your face or neck. And you don't want it to be too loose or you don't want to put it under your arm or behind your back. And then for children, the safest way is based on age, height, and weight. And then according to everydayhealth.com, there are 4 options for children to be buckled in. 1 is the rear-facing car seat. that is for children either under the age of 1 or weighing under 20 pounds. And a forward-facing car seat is for children over the age of 1 or weighing over 20 pounds. They usually outgrow that at around 4 years old or 40 pounds. Then a booster seat is for those aged 4 and up or over 40 pounds. Then they usually outgrow that by the time they're either 8 years old or they're 4 feet 9 inches tall. Then after they reach 8 years old or that height limit, then they are ready for a seatbelt. Then here's the 5-step test for children's safety. If they have their back against the seat, their knees are bent, they can just simply lay right over the edge of the seat. The lap belt is on the top of their thighs, and the shoulder strap is in between the shoulder and neck, and they need to sit up straight the entire ride. So now you know why you should wear a seatbelt, what it could cost you if you didn't, and how you should properly wear one. So vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death for those ages 1 to 55 in the U.S. And the use of seatbelts reduce serious injuries and death by approximately 50%. So everyone here knows someone who's either been in a car accident or who doesn't wear their seatbelts. Because wearing a seatbelt can be a matter of life or death. And putting a seatbelt on is a simple task and it takes seconds. And your life is worth more than just seconds. Are there any questions? Yes?
If you have airbags in your car, do you still need to wear your seatbelt?
Yes, you should never rely on airbags to be a substitution. Yes?
That was a weird question in the beginning.
What?
It was a weird question in the beginning.
You mean whether you wear your seatbelt here?
No, the one after that.
What question was after that?
I don't really know what it is. Weird.
Yes?
What's the difference between a primary and a secondary law?
A primary law is where police can pull you over just because you're not wearing your seatbelt, and a secondary law is when they cannot.
Yes. How much does a ticket cost in Kansas?
I believe it was $10.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does the ticket vary on the amount of times you get pulled over?
I don't believe so. Yes?
When did they start putting seatbelts in cars?
I have no idea.
I want one question, and I want to know what the answer is.
A long time ago. You'd have to buy a very old car for it to not have seatbelts.
Jake has a really old car.
Yeah.
Does it have seatbelts?
But it's well, it doesn't have the one that you're supposed to put over you. All it has is that lap one.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Yes.
The seat belts in any vehicle that I ride in always goes across my neck. How do you suggest to handle that?
Well, in some vehicles, you notice that they have the little like safety deals like that. Usually like pull it back. But I don't really know of any way because you have to pull it like out of your way so you can like attach it or like get it to pull back on something like a bungee cord or something.
What's a bungee?
I don't know. Yes.
Did you wear your seatbelt here?
Yes, I did.
Do you always wear it?
Yes, I wear my seatbelt every
Even
time
when
I
your
get in the
parents
car.
not around?
Yes, I do.
The first seatbelt was invented in 1959.
There we go.
Here we go.
Yes.
What's that cord thing you're
59,
talking
you
about?
said?
What is that?
In the Volvo.
What's what?
What's
Bungee
that?
cord.
What is that?
A bungee cord?
Is it a bunch of cords? Since it's a bungee
We're
cord?
getting off subject.
No, a
They're
bungee
stretchy
cord will not work
cords.
as a seatbelt.
Are there
Yeah,
different types of seatbelts?
Yes, there are many different types of seat belts. There's a lap belt, which is a 2-point, and there's the regular one, which I showed, which is a 3-point, and also a 4-point and 5-point.
What's a
Harness.
5-point, you probably have a 5-point. Or something close to that.
Are there any more questions?
What's a 5-point?
Let's see. It's where it comes from each side and 2 up, I believe.
And one in the middle, maybe?
Comes to it.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And 2 and then 1.
Yeah.
So that
So
would
it's 2 this way, 2
A race
this way,
car.
and then 1 ones in between your legs.
But I don't,
That's what you have a 5.
yeah, but since I'm so big for mine, and mom doesn't put the extra seatbelts, you know, like, when they make me wear the 2.
You don't need an extra, you have a booster seat.
What?
Any more questions?
Can you check to see if your seatbelt is still safety approved?
I believe you can. Yes,
Do seatbelts ever go bad?
yes, they can go bad. They can get a lot of wear on them, or they don't retract and they don't stay tight anymore. So then you need to get a new seatbelt in your car. Yes,
I did know that you can get extensions for them.
yes, you can.
I just want to make sure you knew that.
Yes, I did. My car came with an extension one.
Okay.
Any more questions? Yes.
Once my seatbelt got cut from wearing it.
Your seatbelt got cut from wearing it?
Because I was so fat. What?
Nothing.
If you get in a car wreck and your seatbelt gets stuck on, how do you get out of it?
That's why you need to either have, because they actually sell things where you can have in your car that you can use to cut your seatbelt,
Yeah.
or you'd have to call 911 and they would have to come cut you out if you did not own one.
Don't do that very well.
Yes.
What if you can't reach your phone?
Then you
Good
got,
question.
then you'd have to,
Buy one of the different things? Buy one of the different
Are
things.
you inside
And
your
what if you can't
man?
reach that because it's really tight?
That's goodbye.
But what if you couldn't
oh
reach
my
that?
lord, that's what he's talking about.
He's falling.